Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. It's percolating. Good morning. Yeah. Good morning to the people on Facebook. Good morning to the people on IG. Good morning to the people on the YouTube. Good morning to the people on LinkedIn and Twitter too. Java. Percolating. Get a vibe, stay ready. Truth in the cup, keep it strong, keep it steady. Pull up a chair, yeah. Take a sip with me. Good morning, good people. Java with Jimmy. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, the love percolating. Java with Jimmy. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good morning. Yeah, the love percolating. Yeah, Java with Jimmy. Good morning. Percolating. Yeah, we in it. Yeah, we in it. Good morning. Good morning. Java with Jimmy. Percolating. Yeah, we in it. Yeah, we in it. Good morning. Good morning. Java with Jimmy.
Good morning. Welcome to the Java Cafe, Java fam.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Today is Monday, August 3rd, 2026. And you were in the Java Cafe this morning. It is Mental Health Monday. However, I will check in on our mental health, but we're also going to talk about another M word today, which is misinformation. A key pillar in the founding in the day I went live over almost 6.5 years ago next month, to combat some misinformation, to prepare us for what the impact that COVID had. Millions of lives were lost, and it changed our society. It changed the world. And as we know, the world caught COVID, and we were at the worst end of it as Black and brown people. Few things that I feel compelled to share as over the last week or so, the congressional hearing where they've called in Dr. Fauci, who was our public health expert, and saved a lot of lives despite the lack of appreciation for science and public health experts during the period when the onset of COVID. While that hearing is going on, I almost said trial, because that's the spirit in which these alternative facts, and there's a whole bunch of context that I'm going to give in reference to why they are again attempting to defame the character of Dr. Fauci. So we're going to get into that in just a few minutes, but let me go in and say good morning to the folks that are in the Java Cafe. Again, we want to welcome you. Thank you for being here with us this morning. Please do me a favor, as I often do, and ask you to make sure that you have liked and subscribed on YouTube, but liked our pages on Facebook and Instagram, James W. Hills on Facebook, and Java with Jimmy on Facebook as well, and Twitter, and where else am I? Threads as well. So please go ahead and do that. Let's go in the Instagram section of the Java Cafe, and I forgot to start the live over there. So let's give folks a couple of seconds to come into the room over on Instagram as I am late. I apologize for that. All right. In the Facebook section, let's go and see who's in the room so far this morning. So far, I see Nicole Campbell. Good morning. Good to see you in the room this morning. Let me change this here because we're back to just me and I like this better. So, Nicole, there we go. Good morning. Good to see you in the room this morning. Dina Marshall Tarver, I know you will be excited for our guest next week for Mental Health Monday. Mama Java, good morning to you. Good to see you in the room. Sister Debbie, good morning to you. Good to see you in the room this morning as well. My sister Nakia, good morning to you. Good to see you in the room this morning. Also, Sandy is in the building. Good morning to you. Good to see you in the room. Also, Pastor Sharon Cornelius, good morning to you. Good to see you in the room this morning as well. Let's jump back into the Instagram section. Dan McKenzie, what's up, brother? Good to see you in the room. He said, Danny, good to see you in the room. Phoenix, good morning to you. Brave Boston, again, Danny. Dan McKenzie, rather, good to see you in the room. I don't think I've ever called you Danny, bro. Good to see you in the room this morning over on Instagram. Bless Robinson, good morning to you. Phoenix made it over to Facebook. Good to see you. She has an interview coming up with one of the district attorney for Suffolk County candidates taking place, I believe, tomorrow. It's going to broadcast. It's going to air, I think, at 10 p.m. So Phoenix put the details there. Ladies and gentlemen, this guy. And it's interesting that Alex, you're here this morning because Alex also started sort of an outlet during COVID where he was ensuring that the faces of COVID, which was the name, I believe, of his either hashtag or page, really highlighted what we were dealing with as a society. And so, Alex, it's interesting you're here this morning. He is a communications media advisor. Alex, we actually are overdue for a check-in. But I know you're being Papa now, and what are you doing? Running marathons or triathlon, something like that. But good to see you in the room, Alex, as always, and thank you so much for your contributions to my development in this space. Phoenix is letting us know that on Thursday at 10 p.m., it's Thursday, not tonight, Thursday at 10 p.m., she will air her interview with former district attorney and former U.S. attorney Rachel Rollins as well. For those of you that missed it, on Friday, we had a special brew of Java with Jimmy with district attorney incumbent Kevin Hayden. So Alex, again, good to see you in the room. And I got most of the folks over in wait a minute, this is a different Danny McKenzie. Okay. Because it's Dan. Okay, so this is I'm thinking Dan McKenzie. So this is Danny McKenzie. I go by Jimmy now, Danny, just because it makes it easier for people. So said good morning, deviated a little bit to say what's up to Alex. And I view that as a bit of an affirmation for me to talk about this. So when COVID started, Dr. Fauci, what's her name? Dr. Bricks, the one that always wore the scarves at the press conferences. They were the leaders from a public health scientific perspective around COVID. It was a new airborne pathogen, though the corona virus itself, it was called COVID-19. There have been different variations of this type of airborne pathogen. The thing that has now become interesting is that the Republicans, the right wings, and those that fear any valid pointing to of any lack of concern, demonstration of commitment to the betterment, the public health of Americans, the Republicans will do their best to defame people that can combat a narrative with facts. Dr. Fauci, well informed, respected scientist in the industry for decades, is under attack because he pleaded the fifth in that hearing, which I almost called trial minutes ago. I'll speed things up by saying that information and the misinformation that a lot of right-wing, independent, bot, AI, Elon Musk type outlets and accounts have seized the opportunity to further spread misinformation. This is relevant in so many ways for the Black community, marginalized communities, seniors, those that aren't able to get the information they need to get and stay healthy. God forbid, and Dr. Basola in 21 or 22 here, 21 or 22, here on this platform articulated that there would be another pandemic in our lifetime. One of the key things was that in COVID, the world had not seen a pandemic, I believe they said, since 1908. And so, once 100 years, Lord, everything that happened, but once 100 years, okay, that's a generation, one or every 2 generations. When she said that, I said, oh boy, God forbid if another, a few weeks ago we had the, let's go back to monkeypox, even though all the information around that, and because a lot of the LGBTQIA2S plus were impacted by that. That's a whole nother conversation. But things like monkeypox, things like the flu vaccine, things like, I believe there's now, we found out that there is a therapy for RSV. If another pandemic happens, the more misinformation that's out there, the more potential that we Black and brown people will be impacted in the worst ways. I'm going to back up a little bit and say a couple of things. One is, it's not an apology, but I put a post up yesterday that said that people are getting on my nerves. It's so interesting and affirming to me that while this conversation was going on in my Facebook memories 5 years ago, 21, 5 years ago yesterday, I went to 12th Baptist Church in a partnership with Boston Medical Center and got my first COVID shot. That popped up yesterday. I seen that pop up. I'm familiar with the chatter that's going on social media right now to defame Dr. Fauci, to get to flood Black and brown people's algorithm and feeds with misinformation. So when that came up, I said, okay. So I did say people are getting on my nerves. Behind that is the notion that yet again, we are unfortunately, and this brings up media literacy, we are unfortunately in an age that, according to your belief system, according to your points of reference, according to that. So I just thought about something. So the thing I said about getting on my nerves, I'm going to do my best to not articulate or use words that are offensive, no matter what side you were on. Got it, didn't get it. I'm going to try to do better with that, because we cannot give. I would suggest that we don't give a whole lot of energy into who did, who didn't. It's real as far as what the medical industry and science has done to the level of their actions caused them not to be trusted. I'm not saying us mistrust them, because that puts the ownership on us. Their actions in the past, yes, in medicine, and science and research cause them not to be trusted. As we said during COVID, as we said a couple of months ago, as we said a couple of years ago, as we said, there are now Black and brown scientists. There was a Black woman scientist that was a lead in a lot of the research for COVID. Another thing I want to say that's real is that there were people that had side effects. Yes. I'm not aware of any medication, supplement, vitamin, food that somewhere in the world somebody doesn't have either an allergic reaction or something within their DNA. There were stories, yes, of the vaccine, depending on, you all remember these words. Pfizer, what was the M? Pfizer. Oh, Jesus, what was the M? Johnson and Johnson, the different manufacturers made the vaccine, and there was some things and side effects that for some things were awakening folks' DNA and they got sick. I've heard stories of people being paralyzed. That is very, very real. Without sounding insensitive to the impact and some deaths, the benefits rather outweighed the risk. More people who got COVID, yes, remember, was still symptomatic. People still had symptoms. People still caught it. However, a good portion of the people, the benefits outweighed the risk, the horrible risk, and the results of the risk that people that died. We have to understand that we are at a disadvantage when it comes to accurate information as it already is. We have to understand, as we often say, that when America catches a cold, Black and brown people, marginalized people, Black are the most marginalized, and that the worst impact of a lot of the marginalizations, and don't have 3 or 4 of them, Jesus, and be Black. We can't take. I am going to do my best, not as a scientist, not as a journalist, but as someone with a platform, an audience, influence, and impact, to do my best to be sure in situations like this that the community has the accurate information. We also, as I get ready to wrap up and we'll check in on our mental health, we also have to be careful of how we consume media. I got a text today from a very high-ranking official that simply said, and let me, we're going to talk about this on Wednesday with the mayor. This is getting to my point of media and misinformation. And I'll just add this. If you are a trusted source, whether on social media, in your family, I'm not perfect at it. I certainly don't satisfy everybody's desire in how I interview, book people, talk to electeds, engage. Let's keep that 100. No one does it perfect, but I'll say for me, there's a feeling of obligation that when it comes to information like this and public health, that we get the accurate information out there. Hence, we brought back Your Healthy Java in January of, when did the Orange Man go back in? January of 25. Almost 2 years we bought Your Healthy Java back. Another part of the impact on us is the sensationalization of tragedies. You all remember a few weeks ago, our sister Marta lost her life. It has now been revealed, yes, that it was not a homicide. It was not suicide. It was a homicide. And Kevin Hayden. DA Hayden explained that homicide is considered death by the means of other hands. In that horrible tragedy, legacy and mainstream media felt it was their responsibility to share with the public who the property owner and the landlord was. Sadly, we still have a lot of violence going on in certain areas of Boston. There was an incident last night where between 4 and 5 people were shot, and one of them unfortunately lost their life. I got a text this morning with a screenshot of the story that said, no reporting of who the landlord is because it's irrelevant. My point here is we want to be intentional about supporting Black media outlets that move to better our community, bring information, and to mobilize people for a better quality of life. Positive media, nice stories, graduations, weddings, and christenings, and celebrating the mother that brought 5 girls together for 6 months and they made a quilt. Sadly, the way our brains are wired, the way we want to consume information that we don't know, scientifically proven, took a media class in college, the negativity, sadly, sells, and it is more attractive to the way our brain is wired. Sadly, and what I mean by that is it's not so much our brain is wired to want to view death by a gun and stabbings and fights and weaves falling all over the place and teeth being knocked out and things like that. The ratchery that some of us have, viewed or whatever. What it is unfortunately that type of media, when we first consume it, we don't know what's going to happen. Somebody going to come in and swing from the left? Is a wig going to fly to the right? Is somebody's boob going to pop out from fighting? It's new information, and that's what our brain wants. And sadly, negative imagery with the unfamiliar and not knowing what that negative imagery will result in is part of the reason we consume the way we do. Being aware of that, I would suggest that it would behoove us to be intentional about what we consume. And I'll end this media part here. And what we share and what we like. Yes, the legacy mainstream media driven by white supremacy a lot of times, and the mighty dollar, which is driven by capitalism and the top of the capitalists of rich white men. Okay, fine. Some of us are out here liking, loving, and sharing negative media. And I'll go ahead and say it about a woman that fights for us in Congress and her husband, and a man that got over 20 some odd years in community service and working at the, come on, y'all. Smear campaigns. I'm going to switch up so before I get in trouble. Let's go over to Instagram and see what the thoughts are there. My good brother Brendan is over there on Instagram as well. Joanne Qatar, good morning. Abstract Minor, good to see you, sis, in the room. We Are the Safety, I like that, is in the room as well. Take 215 podcast, good to see you in the room. And in Facebook, and Lord, these comments, I need to go in and kind of catch up a little bit. Most of them are greetings. It's not too bad. Barbara, what's up, mother? Good to see you in the room this morning. Dina said that off the Lord Jesus. I don't know if I should read this now. Off topic, I went to brunch at Jazz Urbane Sunday, and the place is amazing inside. Staff was great. Musical artists on point. It was a real vibe. Food was good. And wait till they open in the fall. They have 3 more events you can attend until 8/6/8/7/8. I saw that, and Dina, part of supporting Black media is thank you, Dina, for that information. Brother Drew Irvin, that I see pop in and comment liking things once in a while. I believe he's referring to I plead the fifth. I don't know if he's repeating Fauci or saying he pleads the fifth on an opinion about the conversation about the vaccination here. Dina said, I did not click on any of that nonsense. Thank you. I would encourage others to. Another part of this is while Dina may have a media mind and understand, sadly, some of these bots, what I mean by bots is technology now has come to a point where computer accounts and AI can create robotic bot type of accounts that certain keywords, certain posts, and they just do their thing. They now are able to present themselves online with logos and links and websites and look like legitimate media outlets. There's an outlet right here in the city of Boston that attempts in its name to mimic itself after Mass Live. I ain't going to say their name to give them no love. Brother Eric Kennedy is in the room. If you ever wanted to get better at public speaking, check out the Roxbury United Toastmasters. Thank you, Brother Eric, for that information. Also, Tay, good morning. Good to see you in the room this morning as well. Dina said, you are human. People can get on your nerves. They get on mine enough. It just, because, Dina, the reason why I said that, and I may put up another post later, is because I'm seeing beyond, I'm aware of the foundation of a lot of the pushing of alternative facts. Y'all got to understand also that this orange man is up for congressional elections are taking place in just a couple of months. Any reinvigorating of that MAGA base through misinformation, you can get them active. My point there is that, yes, folks get on my nerves, but not being offensive and not putting someone on offense gives us a better, not putting someone on defense, rather, gives us a better offense to be able to engage. So it is real. People get on my nerves all the time. Kevin Higgins reminded us just that the M1 was Moderna. Thank you, and Kathy as well, and Jenny, about the Moderna. I couldn't remember. It was Johnson & Johnson, Pfizer, Moderna. Dina also said there are side effects with all medications. And Dina, so while I made the slight apology in that vein while I'm apologizing, let me just get this out. This is a little bit petty and a little bit on my nerves. I get it. World pandemic, COVID, one of the most attention was brought to the remedy and how we can get back outside and all of that. I get it. So this got a lot of attention. You got a pain that's severely bad and you go to the emergency room and you need surgery. Are you not taking anesthesia? Are you going to let them operate on you? You got severe allergies, or you had some lobster one day and found out you have a lobster allergy and started swelling up, and somebody offers you at the restaurant an EpiCat. You going to ask about the research behind it and whatnot. We must be knowledgeable. Yes. I'll say it again. People have a choice to make their own decisions. And on either side, we have to do our best not to disparage one another. But the benefit of listening to the science and the lives that were saved, and COVID not having its full, or causing people that took the vaccination to not have the full experience of what COVID could do, especially if they had other sicknesses like asthma that a lot of us have, and comorbidities and high blood pressure and all that stuff. All right, I'm going to try to move on. I'm catching up with comments, so I'm just responding to them. We're going to get ready to wrap up in a few minutes as it's 10:33. I love all the greetings in here that you all do in the family that we have. Miss T is in the room. Good morning. It's all the people who didn't have the misfortune of COVID taking someone that they love, that believe all the hoopla. It's not often I see that word written out. All the hoopla spewed is sickening. Miss Teresa, and I know you get this in balance. Some of them did. They did. And I say that sensitive, with the sensitive understanding. Some of them actually did. And it was a thought just now, so I'll say it too. Some of the lives that were lost, some of those people took the vaccination. Let's just name that. Okay. And so, but not to take away from Miss Teresa's point, just like I said, some of them did, some of them didn't. And there's this other piece. Good morning, Opal. There's this other piece of us, and I deal with it often. We want to be right. There's some of that. As much as this is a world issue and impactful on lives and society and all of that, the "I told you so" is a strong factor in some of this debate. All right, Brother Milton, what's going on, brother? Good to see you in the room. And again, I love all the greetings in here and the family. Sharon, she said the clear people really work hard sending out negative racist propaganda on my congresswoman all the time, on a lot of people. Ms. Teresa said Dr. Fauci nonsense being brought up is very triggering for me. It just brings back all of the very bad memories during that time. Absolutely. Brother Avery, what's up, brother? Good to see you in the room over on YouTube. Joanne made it over on Facebook. Good morning to you. I guess I'm not paying enough attention over on Instagram. Julie B. Creative. Good. Why do I know that Julie B. Creative? Why do I know that name? But good morning to you, Mr. John O'Brien. The sons of Mr. John O'Brien Sr. will be joining us later on this week after next, I believe. So keep that in mind. But they're in the room over on Instagram. All right, folks, we're going to get ready to wrap up. So before we get ready to go, after all that fussing, I'll start it off. How y'all doing this morning? What's your one word to describe your mental health status? How you feeling right now? It's gloomy and doomy outside. It's a little humid. I'm fussy. So I would say my mental health stat, well, I'm sipping because, and I alluded to it, I paused earlier and said I would get in trouble. As I said before, it's not just the mainstream media and racist and white folks. There are unfortunately some people that live in the vicinity of where we live. Notice how I said that. That have not been able to focus their energy, vision into what it is that they're able to do to better the community. And sometimes that leaves a lot of availability for some interesting idle time that may, in that idle time, result in some of the folks having the ability to just make up things and then attempt to smear. And I'll say this and I'll move on to my mental health word. Be careful when you're smearing people. Now, let's admit it. I'm a little guilty of this. We all have our little community gossip, chatter, little stuff, opinions, and things like that. But smearing and defamation, that by certain criteria you can actually sue someone, that's different. I'll end with this. Be careful when smearing, because the only way that you can smear something is to put your hands, well, in some cases, your mouth on it and smear it and spread it. The other thing is putting your mouth, talking in a virtual space, liking, sharing the lies and the negative information. For you smearing and putting your mouth on it, one, you're going to get some dung, Sharon. That's what they call it in the Bible. You're going to get on your hands and E. coli, maybe, by speaking it or the virtual point and click and share. I'm going to move on from that. All of that to say that I was going to say the doom and gloom of the weather and I'm fussy and whatnot. I was going to say my mental health word is okay. However, there's some things going on in the background, y'all, that just reminds me, and this always all it's Mental Health Monday, so I'm using y'all for a little bit of therapy. Even before Java with Jimmy, y'all know some of my outlet back in the day when I was triggered was getting on here and going off. Thank God for evolution. There's some things going on in the background, and it just affirms. And every time these interesting social media things happen and whatnot, every single solitary time since this platform came into existence, and if I think back on some other things, maybe before the platform, good things. When I tell y'all to come up in this space and in the impact over these next few months and the rest of this year is going to be ridiculous. Commitment, consistency, and dedication pays off. My mental health word for that 10-minute dissertation is 2. We're good. What's your mental health word for this Monday? Just as you're putting your mental health word in, I want to inform you that tomorrow for Testimony Tuesday, I'm going to share with you my visit to Dr. Gwendolyn Weeks this weekend. We have a Black woman bishop that has a whole ministry campus with resources right here in the heart of Dorchester. For almost 20 years, this woman has worked to increase her food pantry, to build that house, to offer transitional housing and resource and community space. They cut the ribbon on Saturday. And so I got to chat with her. I got to get a tour. And so for Testimony Tuesday, I'm going to reach out to Bishop Weeks and see if I could at least at minimum, call her and do an interview on the phone. But then if we can get her to log in tomorrow, less than 24 hours notice. But Testimony Tuesday, that's for tomorrow. Dina has a vaccine comment that I hope won't keep me here for another 10 minutes. The vaccine was also not to prevent you from getting it, but to prevent you from dying. That part. And that's the thing that early on, public health officials could have been more clear and better about that part, Dina. And let's name that maybe we could have listened better when that was the message of certain public health officials. We're going to get into our words for Mental Health Monday right now. Kathy Rebel starts it off with saying she is peaceful. Dina said that her mental health status is relaxed. Miss Teresa said anxiety on 1,000. Breathe and drink water. Dina is sending prayers for Miss T. Miss T is also saying I need to make things to calm down so people will be getting their mail. Miss Teresa, what are you up to? Latoya, good morning. Good to see. I don't know if I said good morning earlier. Good to see you in the room. Sharon Cornelia said that she is good. Thaddeus Miles is in the room, and I'm going to pause here for a minute when I talk about the good, because some of you have been waiting for a couple of months about this darn September 10th. Good morning, family. My Mental Health Monday word is crazy. Trying to travel back to Boston, and my last 4 flights have been canceled. Pray that the next one gets out. Uncle Thaddeus, safe travels. And take care of yourself. And we pray that you get back. Mother's board. Add this as a little dot because I know y'all keep Uncle Thaddeus on the prayer list. As Uncle Thaddeus was coming in, we'll have did we confirm a time? I actually may have a call today or tomorrow. How many of you, and put a thumbs up in the comments or put a coffee cup in the put a coffee. Miss Teresa, I got to get some new mugs because I think putting this in the dishwasher turned it brown like my coffee. No, it's the coffee showing through the cup. That's what it is. Put a coffee cup in the comments if you remember our biggest outdoor Java with Jimmy event. And if you remember what year it was, put that in there as well. I'm going to leave that alone. We, Uncle Thaddeus, for the past few years, has curated an event called Black Joy at the Institute of Contemporary Art here in Boston on the Seaport, otherwise called the ICA. I have emceed all but one of his events. The first one was in 2020 at the Museum of Fine Arts. And I still have the video of Uncle Thaddeus singing up at the mic. He knows my name. I still have that video, Uncle Thaddeus. But I've emceed from day one his event. And Uncle Thaddeus and I joke about this and we fuss. Black Joy Day is always either somewhere between September 5th and September 9th. My birthday. This year, we're coming together on September 10th at 5:30 p.m. for Black Joy Java. Uncle Thaddeus, was that the word that we left with in the meeting? On September 10th, we're going back to the ICA Java with Jimmy. We're not doing a big panel like we did before, but it makes sense along, and this is being sponsored in partnership with the Boston Waterfront Coalition or the Coalition for a Resilient and Inclusive Waterfront, and the good partners down at the ICA, Shane and others. And so September 10th at 5:30 p.m. at the ICA, we're having Black Java or Black Joy Java. And it's going to be, and if you've been before, oh, it's a time. Adding a couple little extra things to put a little Java in it, but we've been involved and it's just a great event. There's drinks, there's food available for sale. The Black Joy in that place is amazing, heavily Black and brown, but there's a diverse crowd there. DJs, art. Milagro, that was your home boy. Alex, reminding me I need to get off of here. It's 10:45. So save the date, September 10th, 5:30 p.m. at the ICA. We'll see you there. All right. More information about that is coming soon. But I just thought about that, and that is one of the he said Black Java. So September 10th at 5:30 p.m., Black Java at the ICA. No cost to get into the museum. The whole museum is available to you that day. It does close at 9. And so it is kid friendly. It's a family event, but Uncle Thaddeus is going to say yes. Yeah, it is. Even though I won't be around much of the kids that night. Because just 2 days before then, I will turn 55 years old. On one hand, thank God, I made the double nickels, double enunciation of grace. 5 + 5 = 10. 10 is the number of reset. But just 55 in itself. So that's going to be my last business obligation is on August 25th. August 26th until September 10th. That's Uncle CC, Uncle Thaddeus. No. Uncle Thaddeus, I can tell you why Miss Teresa is asking. Because the Java's on it. And my last couple of evening events have not been kid friendly. What do we have? I had well, that was kind of a cuffing season summer love event. So that one wasn't. But yes, they are there. The young people can be there. On that, but I'm giving y'all now the 26th to the 10th. Outside of planning, your boy will be off the grid completely, except for the show. So, all right, Miss Kathy, thank you so much. I appreciate it. This gray might be black sometime in September. All right. There is no rain date because at worst we would be inside the museum. But Miss Teresa, wait. Nope. Wait, that's going to be designed. That's going to be designed. So don't print anything yet. I'm going to design that. So I had to get to you to wait and because wait for that. All right. That's it for me. We will see everyone tomorrow at 10 a.m. for Testimony Tuesday. We're going to reflect and talk about Bishop Weeks' great accomplishment, that which he did, and a legacy of her mother, Susan, and her father, Bishop Thomas Weeks. All right. We'll see you guys. The week before that, September 3rd, we are back at GBH. Next Monday, we have Dr. Benjamin Atkins coming to chat with us for Mental Health Monday. And Wednesday, Mayor Wu will be with us at 10 a.m. And at 10:30, we have some brothers coming in that's actually working with the city around a artist sort of panel that's taking place soon. And so that will take place on Atkins. What did I say? Oh, Akins. Bye, Dina. I'll see you all. Y'all done made me tired. I'll see you all tomorrow at 10 a.m. Have a great day, everybody, and we'll see you soon. Yes, September 10th is a Thursday. It is a school night, first week of school. And September 3rd is a Thursday as well at GBH. All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow at 10 a.m.